Welcome to Tech in the Car. In this video I'm driving the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. I'm giving you my review of it. Welcome to Tech in the Car. This is the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. This is the new infotainment system in the facelift. We have radio, we have our maps and navigation, we have our phone settings, we have Android Auto, safety assistant, climate control, performance, vehicle information, connected settings, and other settings. So let's go through these one at a time. So first of all, radio. This has got DAB digital radio. This is a touchscreen and it's also got a swivel wheel. I'm going to use a swivel wheel so I don't block the screen as I'm doing this, but there's both options. I can scroll through, I can see my station list, I can do a search, I can add them as favorites down the bottom here or at the top. Radio is very self-explanatory. I can change my sources to FM to DAB or to Android Auto. Change it to USB 2. There's 2 USBs down here, actually 3 if I want to, and I can see my library. So if I go back here, let's go to the navigation. So this is an 8.8 inch widescreen display. It's touchscreen. It's a big improvement over the previous generation. I've got my recent destinations, favorite destinations, points of interest. I can navigate to petrol stations or wherever I want to. Very simple and easy. Or I can browse the map. Phone will bring up my phone. Right now this is on Android Auto. In fact, let's go into Android Auto. I can get satellite view like this. I can go into my music, play my music. How fast is the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio?
192 miles per hour. On the website autoexpress.co.uk, they say, with a 0 to 62 miles per hour time of 3.9 seconds and a top speed of 192 miles per hour, the Quadrifoglio has an incredible amount of performance on offer.
There we go, that's how fast this car is. 510 horsepower, 600 Newton meters, 3.9 seconds, 0 to 60. Superb performance, really exciting, with a Ferrari-derived V6 engine. And here we are in Apple CarPlay. And that's what it looks like on the widescreen on the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. And then we can go back to our overview here and see our widgets. So we can see exactly what we want. And that's interesting. It's got 3 different sections here, which I haven't seen on any other car. So CarPlay has obviously adjusted that for this car, which is interesting to see. So this is all new in this model year. Active blind spot assist, which will warn you. It can also give you audible warnings. Lane keeping assist, so let's turn that on. Only warning, or you can change it so it warns and keeps you in the lane. And I think that's really handy, and I like the little animations and pictures at the top here. Forward collision warning, driver attention assist so you don't get tired. You can adjust the sensitivity. Intelligent speed control, which will slow you down. Traffic sign recognition. You have a speed limiter as well, and then you can adjust your parking sensors. Rear camera, so I can see my rear camera here. I can put camera guidelines on. All of this was not in the previous generation. So this is all new, and this brings this in terms of technology and lane keeping and safety and driver assistance in line with other cars in this sector. We've got our climate control. So there are buttons down here underneath that I can use, of course, but we have separate climate up here on the screen that I can adjust as well. We've got heated steering wheel as well on this car. So I can turn that on if I want to have a heated steering wheel, and obviously heated seats, and I can adjust the level of heated seats. Let's turn that off. It's interesting to be able to do this manually and turn it on and off like this on the screen. It would make much more sense just to use the controls down below, but it gives you the option, which is nice, and options provided by car companies always really useful. Let's look at the performance gauges. So you can see now I've got widgets here. I've got the climate on one side and I have the performance on the other side. So I can see the oil, the boost, the torque. I can go into my vehicle information and see the miles that it's done, how many days of the service, the oil level, which works when the engine is on, I can see DNA. DNA is the drive settings. So D stands for dynamic, N stands for natural, which tries to keep the car comfortable but not overdo it. And then A stands for advanced efficiency, so it puts the car into the most efficient, fuel efficient setting possible, and it will deactivate the cylinders on the engine to try and do that. So these are the settings. You can see advanced efficiency, what it does. You can see what natural mode does. And then in dynamic, you can see the exhaust valves are open. It's got a really responsive sport pedal. The vectoring on the back, which allows the car to have extra grip, is on. All of those settings are on, but you can't physically change them manually, which is one negative, I would say. And then race mode, where all of the settings are off, it makes the most noise and it sounds the best. So everyday driving, if you want to be fuel efficient, you probably want to go into N. I think maybe advanced efficiency might be a bit too slow and a bit too laggy. Generally that tends to be the way with settings which are designed for efficiency. Dynamic would be the fun one. So that's how you adjust through here. You've got a user manual as well. So this is actually a very simple system to navigate. We've got connected services, set up a hotspot, you can call for assistance, and you've got your settings for the car, the general settings. So your lights, do you want the sensor to be on? Do you want it to follow you? Do you want it to lock, turn on when you come and go? How high do you want the ambient lights on? You can adjust your units and language, clock and date, passive safety, passenger airbag, auto park brakes. So I think that's really useful. We want that on. So you can adjust all of these things. Convenience and comfort, easy entry. So that's keyless entry, doors and locks. Do you want it to lock when you're driving? Yes, no, maybe. What do you want the instrument cluster to do? What do you want it to show? Do you want it to show the performance pages in the instrument cluster? How do you want to set it up? So you can adjust all of these things here. In dynamic, do you want the G meter? Do you want the gauges? Let's have the gauges. We have analog dials in this car, and then we've got our central gauge cluster. And you can see everything you can want to on there. And I can cycle through the radio stations like this, but it doesn't appear to me that there is any way to actually adjust that information that's on the screen other than through the infotainment system that you saw. So it shows you all the information you want, the light, the speed limit, the time, what you're listening to and your speed, but it doesn't give you the ability to adjust it on the fly. So you can make those adjustments for the infotainment system, screen brightness, display brightness, audio adjustments, where you want the bass, mid, treble, do you want it to be at the back or the front where the sound mainly is focused, your Bluetooth settings, device manager, which will show your phones connected, entertainment, do you want traffic announcements. So that's the infotainment system on the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. It's a very straightforward infotainment system. It's easy to use. The screen is nice. It's all blended in with the surround, which is very cool to see. It is lacking in resolution a bit compared to other cars in this price point, and also compared in size, but it has everything you want, and I think considering the driving experience, I don't think that would be an issue. So definitely check out the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio if you're after a car which is a sports car but comfortable with space in the back. Then you should get one of these. There's no doubt about it in my mind. I hope you enjoyed this video on tech in the car. Please comment, like, subscribe, or even dislike if you don't like this video. Any feedback is great and I appreciate it, and it's really welcome. And stay tuned for more videos from Tech in the Car. Stay safe everyone. See you soon. Thank you.